welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn.
Yawning.
I was about to yawn.
I know.
And then I had a yawn, and then I didn't yawn.
Always the worst.
Yeah, and then I'll probably yawn at some point.
Yeah.
So, but here we are with another episode for this week, just fresh off of watching some Transformers movies, and we went to a cat cafe today.
We did. There's a cat cafe. It was the best thing ever. I'm so happy.
Out in Los Angeles here.
Cats.
On Melrose. It's been open for a couple of months, and
Yep, Shawn made a friend.
I did make a friend. I make friends with cats pretty easily somehow.
Yeah, they like you.
For not being a person that really grew up with cats. But I've had,
Well, you've had these guys.
I've had our guys for forever.
Yeah.
Feels like, so
It's been a while.
it has been a while.
But yeah, you made a friend.
They did make a friend. Too bad we can't take her home.
I know. We have too many already.
We already have two.
Yeah, it's enough when you're renting.
Yeah, when you rent, and you can't really just. It feels like, especially out here in Los Angeles, like everybody wants to, charge you more for pets.
Yes, they want to, and it's hard to find a place that will take more than two.
Yeah.
So
we're kind of
stuck.
We're kind of at a limit. We got a good situation, so.
Yep.
But it's sad. And if you do live in Los Angeles and you're
looking to adopt a cat,
and you also want to just hang out with a bunch of cats and
go to the cat cafe
and maybe get some coffee and maybe a cookie.
Coffee's okay.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
It's something they offer there.
Yeah, and you're like, meh, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's fine.
Well, they're not sponsoring this show, so
no, they're not. But it's still a good place to go.
It's a good place to go, but you definitely are
sit there and play with cats.
You're going there to play with cats. You're not going there for a real experience. Because for some reason, I decided to bring, like a coffee shop experience. Because I brought
stuff to read,
and I was like,
I don't know what you're doing.
I was like, well, how am I going to read?
I don't know.
How am I going to do anything other than just stare at cats?
I don't know.
So, check them out. I think there's one also in DC. So if you're just looking to adopt, a cat, you can definitely do that there. But I guess we're going to do our book this week, but it's kind of, and now we picked our book because the book we're doing this week, because the great Adam West passed away.
Yes, he did. He passed away today.
Today, we're taping this on a Saturday, so he passed away. I mean, or at least the news came out that he passed away. Today. Yeah,
R.I.P. Adam West.
R.I.P. Adam West, or Adam Wee.
Yeah, I got a little teary-eyed when I read it, I'm not going to lie. I was like, Adam West? Adam Wee?
He's kind of weird because he's kind of been a guy that's like, he's been around forever.
He's been around since the 60s.
Right. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and he's, he's still been in the zeitgeist in some ways.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, he did... I mean, he got another career jolt when he did the voice on Family Guy, when he was basically himself.
Yeah.
Which that was always fun.
Well, my favorite joke, the Adam Wee joke, where I think it's like somebody stole the S and the T from his light bright. And he's like, nobody gets one over on Adam Wee. And then you hear Adam, because it just says Adam Wee.
Yeah.
And you just hear Adam Wee.
It is a good Adam West joke. He's Simpsons.
Yeah, he's done. That's right. He did the Simpsons. He did
the Batusi on the Simpsons.
Yeah, there's that part where Homer and Bart, because they go to see him at like a car show.
Yeah, the Batmobile's
and
there.
he's like all those guys, they have armored suits. It's like pure West. There's nothing but that's what I had. And then they're all like, Homer's like, walk away, kids. Don't break eye contact. Just walk away. But he was pretty great, and I'd never met him.
No.
In my podcast travels, Gilbert's podcast did have him on as a guest when I was working on a sideshow, but he was via the phone, so I didn't get to meet him. I did get to hang out with Robin.
You met Burt Ward. That's right.
I met Burt Ward. And that was kind of neat. But
when the first con we ever went to together.
Well, here's this. Yeah, this is kind of leading to that because Burt Ward was also at this thing, and so Adam West and Burt Ward were both at this. The first con we ever went to, which was Kamikaze 2000.
I think it was 2011.
2011. No, 2012. Had to be 2012. Sure? No, it had to be 2012 because... No, because it had to have been because I went to Comic-Con that same year, and it was my first time ever going to Comic-Con. I'm almost positive.
Well, we moved down here in 2012. And Kamikaze's always
No,
been
because
October.
I worked at that. Here's the thing.
2011 or 2012.
It's one of those years. But I think it was the first Kamikaze.
Yeah.
It was the first ever edition of the Kamikaze, Stan Lee's Kamikaze, or the Stan Lee Comic Con.
Right.
In downtown Los Angeles. And it was Jen's first con.
It was.
Ever to go to her first con.
And it was so small, and it was very overwhelming. So I did it for as long as I could, and then we left. But what was very exciting is we were standing in line to buy water.
We were standing in line for some food or some water or something.
It was just like, because this was the first time it was ever there. It had like a fourth of the con floor in the LA Convention Center, which is nothing. And so there were just people everywhere and lines everywhere. It was kind of a nightmare. But Shawn saw Adam West.
Yeah, because we're
sitting at a booth, because that's how close we were.
He was sitting sitting at like a table, and they had a bunch of like celebrities lined up by the table. So they had like Adam West and Burt Ward.
Yeah.
Like some
Julie Newmar there, maybe.
I do remember also cast members of the show, the Nickelodeon show Salute Your Shorts were also sitting there. I think Budnick was over there somewhere.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
And we're standing in line. So they're a couple like, or maybe like 50 yards.
But that's how kind of small and weird this was, because we were standing in line for food and you could still see right down the aisle.
Yeah. So I'm looking over there and I'm like, well, there's Adam West, and I'm not going to go stand in line and meet him.
Right.
Because I don't stand in line for shit.
No.
Unless if like I have to.
Right.
If I'm not usually one to stand in line to meet somebody unless if I really need to do it.
Yeah.
If I really want to.
You're right.
I will forego it and just be like, well, I guess they're over there and I'm over here.
Right.
So I'm sitting. Oh shit.
Fireworks.
It's Transformers. They're here. So we're standing in line, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a picture of Adam West, and I think it was actually just one like from my first phone. Shit.
Yeah.
I haven't had that. Yeah. So we just got. It was like my old HTC. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
It was before iPhones.
That's why I'm telling you. It was 2011.
It has to be, or something like that. It was. I'm trying to think because I feel like I was already at a con and I was already hanging out with Chris Gore and doing Podcrash at that time.
Maybe.
I'm trying. My timeline's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But so I'm sitting there and I took a pic. So I took a picture of Adam West.
Well, you're trying to take.
I'm trying to take a picture of Adam West.
There are a lot of people walking in front of you and all.
Walking in front of me, and I tried it. So I had a shot, and I take a picture, and just as I take the picture, so I get Adam West in the shot.
Right.
I'll explain this. So I get Adam West in the shot, and his head's really tiny. But in the foreground...
Well, the best part about this is you were like, I got it, and you show it to me.
Oh, that's
okay?
Right. Okay.
So you were just like, oh my God, here it is. Check it out. I got this picture of Adam West. And in the foreground...
Yeah, in the foreground is an even better picture of Adrian Curry, the model, Adrian Curry, dressed...
And former reality TV star.
Former reality TV star, Queen of the Nerds, you know her. She is dressed up as the princess...
From Legend.
From Legend.
In the black dress, which is a great fucking dress.
Yeah, she's dressed up like Mia Sara in Legend.
Yeah, with like the black dress, and it's got the thing. She wasn't wearing the big collar. She was using it to cover her boobs.
Yeah.
That dress is like cut down to the navel.
Yeah.
Great dress.
Yeah, and so she... so I get this... But she's in the foreground, and it's like this perfect picture of her. But also this very tiny Adam West.
You didn't even notice it was her. You were just like, look, I got Adam West. I was like, you got a great picture of Adrian Curry. And you were like, oh yeah.
But she was walking right in front. And it just,
notice.
And it didn't even occur to me until you pointed out.
You were just literally trying to get a very small picture of Adam West's head.
Which I did. I got a very small picture of Adam West's head. Mm-hmm. And then I have a really great picture of Adrian Curry in her
It was
Legend
unintentional.
outfit. Unintentional. And thankfully I still had it. It's on my Facebook, but I'm going to have to revive it. Put it on like Instagram and just put it on our page and stuff because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great picture. It's funny.
It's a lot of fun to have to have been able to take that. And that's like my big Adam West memory.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to watch Batman 66 when I was
me too.
when I was a kid, like used to be on and I'm probably gonna get this wrong, and anybody in Buffalo wants to correct me. I think it was on WUTV channel 29, which eventually became the Fox channel, but that was the station that would run reruns of Batman 66 in the afternoons or something like that.
Yeah.
They'd just have them on there, and I used to watch them with my dad and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and it was always because it was new to me.
Yeah.
And just all the villains and all the the characters on that show, and it was a lot of fun.
See, I don't remember them showing them in the afternoon. When I was home sick from school, and I remember I think I had the chicken pox or something, and
Yeah.
I feel like I was home for like a week. So I did two things. I watched a shitload of TV and I read Gone with the Wind. Those are the two things I did in that week that I was sick. And I was like 8 years old or 9 or something.
You're a reader.
I am a reader, and I like plowed through Gone with the Wind. But anyway, I remember watching, it was on Channel 2, which became like the WB for us. And they would do like a block, like I think it was like 2 episodes.
Usually that's how they did it. I think that's
back
how
to
I
back
did too.
of
Yeah.
Batman 66 at like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I would watch that, and then I would go back to reading.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I gotta watch this, then I go back.
Yeah. So I watched my share of those, and I never purchased I never really haven't watched them since.
No, I haven't watched them since either.
And
I would love if they came to streaming. I'd be so happy about that.
I feel like they probably are available in some streaming capacity.
No, I mean, like if they came to Netflix or something, and maybe they will one day.
Yeah, maybe at some point they will.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's kind of like asking for,
You're asking for a lot.
The animated series coming to streaming too.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Which also Adam West did a guest.
He did
of The Great Ghost, which is a great episode.
Yeah, and he also him and Burt Ward, something Burt Ward.
Yeah.
He did they did that Return.
Yes.
Or that whatever that.
Which we just watched actually.
Yeah, we watched it not too long ago, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it actually really got a lot of people. I think got a lot of people really excited.
It was actually really fun
because it was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun, and like they had a lot of like the old, the people from '66 actually doing the voices.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that was fun.
And then there was a bit of that in the last Lego Batman game.
Yes.
There was a whole like Batman 66 stuff going on, and it's just that those games are just fun.
Yeah.
And and then of course there was the comic.
Yes.
That came out.
Yes.
Which I haven't read.
No, we have one issue.
We have a few like stray issues of it, but
I only got one.
Yeah, I think it was just the one, but. It's great. It's great that they were able to finally kind of figure out the rights and get it stuff and kind of introduce it to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
A bunch of new fans and people being into it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. So.
Yeah. So R.I.P. Burt Ward.
No, not R.I.P.
No,
Burt Ward.
I know.
R.I.P. Adam West.
Lost a good one today.
Yeah, we lost a good one. Our thoughts go out to I guess all of his friends and family. And,
yes.
But he will always be remembered.
Of course.
So let's take a break.
Yeah.
And we'll come back. We'll talk about our book for this week.
Hey there, my name's Nathaniel, and I'm here to tell you about an exciting new podcast.
What are you doing?
Oh, hey Liz, I'm just recording the podcast promo.
You're recording the promo for the Punch Like a Girl podcast?
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I'm one of the hosts. I have more podcast experience. What?
You're going to sit there and mansplain to people about a podcast focusing on graphic novels and trade collections with female protagonists?
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I at least tell them how it's available on iTunes and Stitcher and at punchlikeagirlpod.wordpress.com?
No.
Shoot. Alright, well hang on, I'll delete this. We'll try again.
That's not delete, that's the button for publish.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. In honor of Adam West, R.I.P. Adam West, we are actually doing a Batman
From the 60s.
from the 60s.
Yep.
We found I found this cheap, actually. I think it was Jeffries, right?
I think so.
It's Batman. I'm sorry, it's The Brave and the Bold. Mm-hmm. Number 68 from November 1966. November 66. Technically November. It says November on there. So November 66, issue number 68. It's Batman and Metamorpho, the Element Man.
Which you love, Metamorpho.
I am a big fan of Metamorpho. I do have Metamorpho's first appearance too.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, I am a Metamorpho mark.
Yeah, you are.
And it's great that we have a Batman connection here. Actually, I feel that because I was looking through, I did just look this up to see who did it. I feel like this is one of the very earlier issues of the actual Batman crossover of Brave and the Bold.
Oh, okay.
Batman crossover, or not crossover, but team up issues.
Okay.
Because I think, before this, it was a lot of, Cave Carson, there was the Justice League, there was Teen Titans made their debut in there, but there's also a lot of, there's Hawkman, and there was a lot of, other anthology stuff, Shining Knight, like Knights and all that stuff. It's, all the way, it goes all the way back.
It's kind of like a grab bag.
Yeah, it's just like a grab bag. It was just a way to tell stories, but then they turned it into a superhero one.
Yeah.
And eventually they started, doing them with, with Batman, just strictly Batman. And so this is early in that run. So it's kind of exciting to have our hands on this.
Yeah, and I do actually feel that this particular book does just very, very slightly does a little bit of hey, by the way, watch the TV show.
Yeah, I think it was kind of...
There's a reference one of the characters
There's definitely at least two references.
Yeah. So this is also a tie-in to get people to start watching.
Well, right, because they probably were like, hey, we're going to start doing, we need more Batman books because Batman is...
He's on TV now.
Yeah, because, he's on TV now, and, the show did great for everybody around.
Yeah.
For DC and ABC and everything and that, so I think it did great for ABC, but I know it definitely made, Batman, pretty much made him the cultural icon.
Yeah.
He was definitely definitely put him on that way of doing that. And a lot of people remember that, the TV show and associate that. And so this is, one of those issues, in that run, and you could kind of, it's a little bit weird seeing that too when they reference it.
Yeah.
Watch him on TV. I'm like,
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Because I was like, does that mean so he has a TV show in this thing?
Right. Yeah. It's a weird thing. But
so on the cover here, we've got Batman and Metamorpho, and so in this particular one,
Batman is very beefy on this cover.
well, because it says, "Look below, Batman becomes Bat Hulk."
Yeah. So he's just a big block of meat, basically.
He's a big meaty Batman. So basically,
he's a steak.
He's basically if you played the Lego Batman and you get the DLC for the other Batmans, they have a version of the Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Yeah, and he gets fucking huge.
Well, he already is huge. He doesn't get huge. He's one of those bigger Lego guys.
Yeah,
and
so
he's just
kind of like
Hulk,
Hulk. But what's the other one? Abomination is a big one.
Abomination. There's anybody. There's Demon's a big one.
Yeah, Demon gets all fat.
Who else? Killer Croc.
Yeah.
King Shark.
They're these
Calabac.
oversized Lego figures.
Yeah, and so they have the Batman and the Dark Knight. All the other Batmans are regular size.
Yeah.
But that Batman the Dark Knight one,
he's just
he's just really big and beefy. And so that's what he looks like here.
He does. He's a huge beef.
He's just a huge beef with with big shorts.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's just everything. Gigantically large.
And he's throttling, I guess it's not throttling, but he's squeezing Metamorpho by the waist, and Metamorpho is trying to escape, with by turning
kind of elongated.
Yeah, he's elongated himself,
and over in the corner, Joker, Riddler, and Penguin are all giggling. They think this is very funny.
Because you see, they're saying, "Ho ho, nice work, Bat Hulk, haha, bye Ellen Man," and then. Well, you got Joker's laughing, and then for some reason, Penguin's just kind of leaning
on his umbrella,
just hee. They're all huddled around each other. It's silly.
Yes,
it's fucking silly.
It's very, very silly.
And this is a Bob Haney book.
Zany Haney,
Zany Haney,
right?
Copyright Fire and Water Podcast.
Yeah, because he wrote all sorts of crazy fucking shit.
He wrote a lot of these Brave and the Bolds and a lot of these wacky ones.
Well, the World's Finest. I was actually just reading World's Finest before we started this podcast.
That too,
which he wrote, and it's weird as shit.
Out of control, man.
And Superman's an asshole in it, and it's just crazy.
He was out of control, and I love it.
Yeah.
And on the inside cover, actually, speaking of Adam West, for the first time on the motion picture screen in color, is Batman the movie. So it's Batman 66 the movie.
Yeah.
Which
I don't think I've ever seen.
No, I think it's definitely on Netflix. You could definitely watch it.
I'm sure I could.
And you have all the goods.
Yeah, because it's Batman. You've got Batman's there in the middle. You've got Burt Ward, Robin. You've got Catwoman. And which one is this? Because there were 3 different ones.
Probably Julie Newmar.
That might be Julie Newmar.
Or Lee Merriweather. Wait, hang on. Wait. Lee Merriweather. Yeah,
okay, so that's her. We've got Penguin over here.
Riddler.
We've got Riddler and then Joker.
Yeah, Joker's in the corner. He's all tiny.
Yeah, he should probably be bigger, but I don't think he was really as big as he is
they highlighted
Like as far as like in the Batman mythos, the Joker wasn't nearly as.
Maybe not. No.
I think that happened as this goes on.
Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin, together with all of their fantastic daring do and their dastardly villains too. So the great Adam West front and center here.
There he is.
So, but yeah. Anyways, we're talking about this book, and the title is called Alias the Bat Hulk.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good title.
No, it's not.
Because it's not like an alias. He actually is Bat Hulk.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't go, I'm not back. Well, like he kind of, as we'll see, he shifts between the characters.
Yes.
Between the whatever.
So we see the splash page is what we open on. We've got Batman kind of hanging off a clock.
So basically what's happening here is we're seeing like a scene from later in the book, and he's kind of hanging off the clock like Doc Brown.
Like King Kong.
Well, more like the way I saw it is more like, and actually we'll get to it, but it's more like Doc Brown in Back to the Future, because he's hanging off like a giant clock and he's holding off of it, and he's like, "Oh, this is the end of you, Element guy," and he's shooting.
And apparently, he also has fireballs.
Well, he's full of Element goodness.
I'm assuming he got a fire flower right before this.
Oh, nice.
It was like do. And he got all big, and he starts shooting fireballs.
Super Batman Brothers.
Yeah, this is Super Batman Brothers, and he's shooting a fireball at Element Man, or at Metamorpho, and he is currently made of
hydrogen.
He's like, oh shit, if that hits me, because he's kind of like a gaseous substance.
He's in a gaseous form to fly around.
And if that hits him, he will explode and probably kill everybody in the city.
So, anyways, we're back to the actual beginning here, and basically, we're seeing Batman being like, well, time to go out. We don't see him. He's like,
we just see kind of like his hand opening his closet.
Well, here's the thing: what he's doing, he's grabbing his Batman outfit, his cowl, and then he's going into the Batcave. But he's got the bat cowl over his arm, like he's gonna get changed.
He just opens a closet. It's kind of like he's like where he keeps his towels. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get my cowl.
I got my bat towel.
Nice. And you've got like a narration where it's just like, oh, he's gonna go out. Robin's off with the Teen Titans, so he's not gonna be here. He's solo.
So Batman's like, wonder what's going on in Gotham City tonight.
So he gets dressed. He jumps into the Batmobile, and it says, no, Batman, don't go out tonight.
Don't go out into the naked night, not tonight.
The naked night.
The naked night. Actually, that would have been a great arc in Batman's book if they were
just nude.
Just nude night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he turns on.
That's what happens when he hangs out with Catwoman.
Definitely what happens when he hangs out with Catwoman. The
nude night.
The nude night, indeed. Especially Tom King's run. Jesus. So he's like, okay. He has like a TV in there, and he's like,
Well, he's like, well, I'm gonna check my messages.
He's checking to see if Commissioner Gordon's like needs him to do anything. Kind of like in the Lego Batman movie, where Commissioner Gordon's like, all I do is push this button.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, this is what I do. Yeah.
That's such a great movie.
We rewatched that too pretty recently.
It's a great fucking movie. It's so good.
My favorite. Just one of my favorite lines with Killer Croc. Yeah, I did a thing.
Yeah, I did something.
Yeah, but why are they messing on? Well, maybe because of the whole.
Because he doesn't do anything in Suicide Squad. Until the very end.
No, he does. He does a swim.
Until the very end. He doesn't do shit, and then he swims.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a swim, and that's okay. It's funny because then they actually kind of even had him doing some swim, and he did a thing.
Yeah, and then he like pushed a button on the bomb, and that's pretty much what he did in Suicide Squad.
Did he press a button on the bomb?
I think he brought a bomb down somewhere.
Do I have to watch Suicide Squad?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't.
I'm already watching Transformers. I'm already doing my duty.
Yeah, well, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it is a bad idea. So anyways, he's like, so he turns on the TV.
And Riddler's like, haha, I overrode your messagey thing.
Here's a riddle.
Here's a riddle. Something about specs.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get and try to figure this out because I don't give a shit.
And Batman's like, well, I'm smart, so I'm gonna figure this out. There's a giant pair of glasses on top of the
optometry building. Not just like an optometrist's office, not just like a lens crafter's. The optometry building. So there's different buildings. There's a chiropractic building.
What does that have on top of it?
It has a spine. It's broken.
Just a spine.
Actually, what it has is
or like a guy being
Here's that. It has one of those animated billboards of like Bane breaking Batman's back. Like,
like a neon, like the neon cowboy in Vegas.
Actually,
but
yes, it's a neon sign of
Yes.
Batman of Bane breaking Batman's back.
I like it.
It's good.
I think it's really funny that all these things back then in these books have like giant spectacles on top of them or whatever.
There's a lot of giant things in
But
general.
in the same, because I was like, how silly is that? But back then in the 60s, they actually did shit like that.
Yeah.
Like there's a place here in Los Angeles that is still like that. It's called Randy's Donuts.
Yeah.
You actually can see it in Iron Man. It's a real place. And it has
We're watching the episode of Insecure.
Yeah, or Insecure on HBO.
Englewood.
There's a huge fucking donut on top of this building, this tiny little building. And I just feel that's so weird that they used to build shit like that. Just like fucking put a donut on it.
What
Put
is this
giant spectacles on it.
What is this place? Let's put a giant thing on it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is this a
You see it for miles. You're like, oh, donuts.
is this a poke place? Let's put some giant raw
Ugh,
fish.
like cubes.
Cubes. Big raw cube of poke, because that's all there is. That I feel like
Oh, that's a big thing now.
out here in Los Angeles, I feel like the poke places are becoming like Starbucks.
They are, and they're like Starbucks and like Chipotle.
And I've only eaten there once, and it's just weird. Look, I don't mind sushi. I've kind of figured out the sushi. I've done the plate, the conveyor belt sushi. You and I.
You seem to like the conveyor belt.
I like it a lot. I like that because it's like, oh, I can look at that. Do I want to vomit after looking at that? No. Can I eat it? Great, and I eat it.
Yeah.
But like the poke places where they basically like, oh, what do you want? Okay, scoop, throw
onto
and
like a rice bowl.
They put some rice. They put some, some fixins, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a chipotle, but for like raw tuna fish or poke, and they mix it up, and then you eat it, and
And you feel good about it, apparently.
I mean, it's raw fish. It's not, it's protein or whatever. I guess you can, get yourself.
I'm gonna open up a poke place and put a giant poke bowl on top of it.
Just put a raw dripping cube of fish.
Ew. Does it have to be dripping?
Well, you can make it look. It doesn't have to be physically dripping. You can maybe kind of make it like appear that's dripping, like neon drips.
Ew.
Yeah. Because then you know what's going on.
Oh man. So I feel like if you were a therapist's office,
Randy's poke.
Ew. Gross. So if you were like a therapist's office, could you have like an eye that's just crying,
Yes.
and then people know like that's where you're going to be sad?
Yeah. Yeah. You could have
If you have problems, come here. It's just like a guy crying.
You could just have what you could do is you can have a neon sign of a guy kind of huddled his hands down, and then the next one it's like him standing up going, yay, like a thumbs up. Dude.
Shit. If we ever open that comic book store / coffee shop that we want to open now / cat cafe, we need to figure out what we're putting on top of it.
I can think of many ideas, but I feel like
a cat lounging in a coffee cup, reading a comic book.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yes.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Coffee cup, just like, he's just looking, he just says, and it just lights up, says, meow, meow, as he's holding a comic.
What if it talks?
Oh, that'd be.
Do you know apparently that cowboy in Vegas used to talk?
He did?
Apparently.
What did he say?
He used to say like, welcome to Vegas or something, but then it got like real weird.
You can't have that. Yeah, you have to be careful with signs out here.
Well, it was like, this is back in Vegas. So this is in the 60s. He used to say like, welcome to Vegas or whatever. And then
Probably broke.
well, no, it was annoying, but then like as time went on, I think like towards like the 80s, the guy who owned it got real weird.
Oh.
And it started saying like some real questionable shit. And so I guess they had to like shut it down.
Was he dropping those word bombs?
He was saying some weird shit about like, if you hate America or whatever.
Oh,
like
no.
he was getting fucking weird.
Oh, no.
It was just like,
I can think of
read
many
some
things.
article about it. I don't remember what it was.
I can think of many horrible things I could say, so I'm just going to leave.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to our listeners'
so maybe
imagination.
we'll just have like a flashing meow. It doesn't have to say meow. Meow, meow, meow.
Well, here's the thing about the signs too, because like if they're too bright, like the other places in your things, like
there's a gas station down the street from here that's like blinding.
I know.
I'm just like, what the fuck, man? It wasn't like that before. Now it's just like, hey, do you want to be blind? Here you go.
Do you want gas?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Would you like to crash into this gas station and explode? Because you can do that too. So he gets to the eyeglasses.
He gets eyeglasses. And he looks through the eyeglasses, and the riddle basically.
It was something about ice.
And he's like, oh, look, there's a diamond exchange. Oh, well, that must be it. So he gets in the back of the car.
He's like, because diamonds are called ice on the streets.
Ice?
I was like, is this before everybody knew that?
Diamonds are ice in the underworld lingo.
So he goes over to the diamond exchange. He busts in, and
The diamond exchange. I wonder if that's he goes in. When he goes in, and Diamond Dallas Page is just hanging out. It's like, what do you want?
That's what's going on. He's just practicing diamond cutters.
Because I think that was
over and over
his.
again. This is his yoga studio. This is where he does DDP yoga.
Nice. He just walks in. So Batman just drops a yoga session.
Oh, sorry. He drops in and he's like, "Oh, namaste, Batman. Come on in."
No, he doesn't say namaste.
I know.
He says like,
because he does like yoga for regular dudes. He goes, "Hulk it out."
Yeah, he goes like, Hulk it out. It's like, if you don't know what your glutes are, it's your butt. Yeah. I love DDP yoga, by the way. It's fantastic.
Yes.
So, anyways, he goes in and he finds Riddler, and Riddler's like, I got a jewel, and then he throws the jewel out the window.
Yeah, and Batman's like, "Oh, I'll catch it," and he like reaches out the window and he grabs it, but he's like, "Oh, it's hot, shit," and he lets it go, and it explodes and like lets all this gas out.
Yeah.
And by the time Batman's like, "What the hell?" Like the Riddler's gone.
So the Riddler's gone, and he gets back in the car, and he sees like Penguin floating on an umbrella.
Yeah, which apparently this was a thing Penguin did a lot.
Penguin's got gadgets.
Yeah, he's
I'll
just
allow
basically like flying around,
holding
an umbrella.
He's a
big
bulbous
fat guy.
Big bulbous man, somehow able to be carried by an umbrella. Gives me hope.
Well, I mean, like, look at Danny DeVito in that one movie.
Yeah, yeah, he does some floating.
He does.
Yeah,
right?
he's quite nimble.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's flying and
he gives him like he makes some bird. You know, Penguin does bird puns. He says something about passenger pigeons.
Yeah.
Or carrier pigeons. Passenger pigeons.
Yeah.
One of the whichever.
Well, it's a passenger pigeon.
Yeah,
and
which
Batman's
are extinct.
like, well, they've been dead since 1913. Blah blah blah.
They're extinct. He's like, oh, but there is a place in the city where you can still see one. You can see a stuffed version at the museum. So Batman goes to the museum, and there's Penguin.
And it's rare. So it's apparently I don't know what the crime is. Other than I think it's a rare bird, but it's just a rare stuffed bird.
Doing anything though. That's the thing. Because at least like when he came to see Riddler had diamonds in his hands.
Yeah.
Penguin is just standing among stuffed birds.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he broke into the museum. So, trespassing, breaking and entering, but he's not doing anything. He's just standing there.
Yeah.
And then, like, Batman's like, oh, stop it, Penguin. Stop standing there, I guess. And so Penguin's like, fuck you. And he, like, opens his umbrella, and out comes a crow.
A crow comes out, and it throws dust at him.
Yeah.
And
there's more smoke.
And Batman's like, oh, I better get out of here. And then, what's his face?
Penguin goes away.
And so then he gets back in the car, Batmobile, and he looks down, and his gear shift is a Joker head.
Right. Now, how they got that going?
Well, he just leaves the car out there. So somebody
has even lock it. He's no,
he doesn't. It's why it's open on the top.
That's true. It is.
So somebody just probably they obviously though these three dummies got together and were like,
it wouldn't be that hard. You're just like, oh, dude's got a convertible. Let's fuck with it.
Yeah. I mean, and there's like it's middle of the night, whatever. And so he's like, and I do like this quote here where he's like, okay, so the Riddler and the Penguin both set some kind of booby trap to get me, but that's hardly news. Why I still got this sinking feeling around my utility belt? I was like, I don't know, maybe because it's too heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe because you have everything in it.
Yeah. Could you imagine Batman running with a heavy utility belt? He's just trying to hold his belt up as he runs. Just Actually, I'd love to see that.
Well, he probably works out his trunk.
Oh, I'm sure he does, but I like the
all
image
that CrossFit.
I just like the image of Batman running holding his utility belt up so it doesn't fall down.
Yeah.
Like a little kid where his pants are too big.
Yeah.
Maybe he should get a utility suspender.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. You can fit more things.
I know. And like in the 90s, why didn't they have that? He could have had
that's what they did. That's why they had so many straps. They were basically like utility suspenders.
They were utility
Cable had utility suspenders.
I know, but he didn't need it. Batman needs it.
How do you know? You don't know if Cable couldn't afford pants that fit him.
I'm not saying he couldn't afford pants that fit him. I'm just saying, like, Batman, if you're going to give anybody utility use suspenders, it should be Batman.
He should have at least been the first one to get a go with it.
Right?
And see if it worked.
Yeah.
So anyway, this Joker head starts talking to him, and it's like, you shifted gears, and now I'm going to start fucking with your car.
Blow up your car or something.
So Batman presses the anti-booby trap circuit on his car, and it gasses him.
Yep.
And then he crashes into a pole.
Yeah. And then he starts laughing.
He starts having
because I'm assuming it's some sort of Joker gas.
Yeah. And so all these things that have been attacking him, so between like the diamond that exploded.
Yes. And the bird.
And the bird and this.
And now this gas. It's like they all go together. Now, why they couldn't just do one, I don't know. One compound.
I don't know, because maybe
it has to be in a certain order.
No, because you know what it is? They probably tried to figure, because this is obviously early in the Brave and the Bold run, they've just made this to a Batman team-up book.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, I know why they're in here. But
right.
I'm saying, like, if you were the Joker or whatever,
yeah,
why wouldn't you just put all three of them together?
Yeah.
right? I realize why they've done it here. But if you were a villain who wants to, get all the glory for yourself, why work with anybody else? So that's, Batman starts laughing. He crawls out of his car, because we're on chapter 2 now, because they were broken up into chapters. And now Bat Hulk is just this giant slab of
He gets inhusioned.
Yeah, and I actually took a picture of this one panel here where he's like, first shows up as Bat Hulk, and I put it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's just, it's gross.
It's just like, okay, so he gets huge and he just wants to laugh a lot.
Yeah, he just goes, hee.
He's like, hee, ha, ha, hoo, ha,
and then he grabs something.
Because also, in addition to being
I think he's kind of dumb right now.
Well, in addition to being a dull, long-armed monster,
He's basically a gorilla.
he's basically like
He's not hairy, but he's just a
shaved,
gorilla.
being basically a shaved gorilla. He's also
He's a shaved ape.
He's a shaved ape who also has chemical
Reaction body.
Yeah, reaction properties in his hands.
Sure.
That allows him to melt wood and
Yeah.
just wreak havoc with his hands and change.
He grabs something. He grabs the wrecked Batmobile and it
grabs the telephone
melts
pole.
or something. Oh, the telephone pole.
He grabs the telephone pole.
And it melts his gloves off. So now he's just walking around like all huge and beefy with like bare hands and they're like glowing.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
And so then and then he starts throwing like the.
Well, he sees a cop car. They're like, "Oh my god, this is where you could do your Jim Ross."
Oh, by God! It's Superman in the heaven, and he's become an ape. My God!
Yeah.
He is. And he shows.
do your
Yeah,
commentary.
good heavens! Is that Batman or is it not?
Yeah.
And Christopher Gordon's like, "Hey, what's going on, Batman?" And he's like, "I've got fiery balls for you." And
Yeah,
Batman starts throwing
he just
fiery balls.
he just walks through Firefly.
And then they start trying to shoot at him.
Yeah,
and
that's not working
and
because it just bounces off.
He goes. Actually, I do kind of like. He says,
Natch.
I'm Bat Hulk. There's nothing I can take. I'm a chemical phenom.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha. That's what he says.
And then he like burns something else. He melts.
Well, he burns through like a
something.
gate, and he just.
Oh, that's right. And he like wanders into the wilderness.
He wanders in the wilderness, and Christopher Gordon's like,
everybody's
"Let's
like-
get him!" And then they just, and somehow he's just
Yeah.
lumbering, and the cops are just kind of like, "All right, let's wait till he gets off like 100 feet."
Right.
And then we'll follow
let
him.
him get enough distance away, and then we'll follow him.
So, but he gets followed. Well, or actually, no, they don't follow him.
Well, they do because they try to follow him, but his footsteps, like he's burned, like footprints
comes to
into
a
the
dead-
ground,
okay, yeah,
and it
comes to a
just
dead
comes
end.
to a dead end, and they're like, I don't know where he went, and also that actually kind of doesn't make any sense for how we see him later.
Yeah.
But he's somehow like become gas,
Yeah.
and he's like, ha ha ha, I'm gas, and then
He turns into regular Batman.
he's like, oh my god, what happened to me? Now he's regular Batman again.
And he's like, "Oh no, I was been booby trapped. Well, I need to like find somebody to help me." And
He's like, I know who can help me.
And this is the second time in this book that he snaps his fingers. Like he does that
he does
here.
that a lot.
He's doing that a lot here.
There he is,
he's like,
here.
he's like, "Oh, I know where to go." Snap.
Snap.
And then he does a snap here.
Yeah. Earlier when he figures out where Penguin went, he was like, snap, and then he does it here.
So
snap.
what he does is he crawls.
He crawls. Now, I don't know why he'd go to this guy's place, because this guy seems like a villain.
Well, this is okay. This is the Metamorpho thing, which is it's hard to understand. I don't quite understand it myself because basically Metamorpho
Rex
was,
Ransom.
Rex Mason
was
Rex
Rex Ransom.
Rex Ransom was an accountant we
Yeah,
worked
that's
with
right.
once. He know what? He could have been Metamorpho. Who knows?
Could have been.
Maybe he was
he is Metamorpho.
Nice. Metamorpho did my taxes. The Shawn Merrick story. So anyway, so he finds Metamorpho like basically was a adventure like a bounty hunter, or not bounty hunter, but like an adventurer guy,
Yeah.
and he got exposed to the Orb of Ra, and he was doing something for Stagg, Simon Stagg, because he was in love with his daughter Sapphire.
Which, that's who's here.
That's who's Sapphire. So you have Sapphire Stagg, you have Java, who is
also an ape man.
he's almost like pretty much an ape man.
Yeah.
Like who is domesticated enough to work for Stagg as kind of like one of his hired muscle guys,
Yeah.
and he's got a thing for Sapphire.
Uh-huh.
So, but anyway, so basic. I don't understand why he still works for him.
Okay.
But I mean, this is early on in the run, so
All
they're
right,
just
we'll
kind
go
of
with
they're
it.
filling it out.
So Batman crawls to this mansion.
Well, it's weird because he gets all happy,
Yeah,
and then he
and-
falls, and I'm trying to understand, like, why is he crawling all his way
I don't
there?
understand that either. Like, is he because he's like standing up and walking over here, but I don't know. By the time he gets here, he's crawling.
Yeah.
And these guards.
There's the guards, and also I wanted to point out because we did do another Metamorpho book.
Yeah, with
earlier
those
on the run.
crazy guys.
He has guards
that wear bright yellow.
that have like outfits. Like these are like
that's what I mean. They seem like villains. What's going on here?
yeah. These are you got these hooded. Fuchsia hooded
they're wearing,
villains in yellow jumpsuits.
They're wearing yellow jumpsuits, like they were in the Devo video. Like they were Whip It.
Totally Devo thing.
And they're wearing red boots and a red.
No, that's purple.
No, they're red.
It's purple.
They're red. This is purple. This is red.
What? That's not.
This is purple. This is red.
I disagree.
This is red.
They have red on their shirt. It's not the same color as this.
They're all red. It's all red. And so we're wearing like a.
Do you want to hear a horrible story
about the color red?
No, about the one time I met somebody who was colorblind.
Oh God, what did you do?
So I don't know what the hell was.
I like how I automatically assume you've done something terrible.
No, so there used to be this comedian friend who I met in grad school. He went to Emerson, and we were talking, and we were making, it was like a comedy workshop or something, and he's like, hey, maybe I should make some jokes because I'm actually colorblind.
Yeah.
I'm actually colorblind and blah, blah, blah and stuff. And, and I was like, ha ha. I went to the house. I was like, oh, yeah, really? So, like, what's that look like? And I'm pointing to, like, I think, like, one of those, like, yellow legal pads has, like, a red top on. He's like, I don't know, purple? That's really mean of you to do. I think we were okay afterwards, but every time I think of, like, that kind of particular color, because he's like, I don't know, purple. Like, I made this poor colorblind guy.
Oh, God, I hope you apologized.
I probably did. I probably did apologize immediately after, but I also still feel really bad about it. Mm-hmm. To this day, it probably happens. Like,
is he colorblind, or red-green colorblind?
He didn't specify.
Oh, okay.
But he specified.
Apparently, red-green colorblind is very common, and it's extremely common in men.
Well, he was a dude.
Yeah. It's more common in men than it is women. I don't know why that is.
He just referred to himself as colorblind. He did not. I did not pull out additional colors and say, "What's this? What's this? What's this?"
You didn't ask which one.
Yeah.
So there's got these like cowl dudes and the S on, and anyway, so Batman finds them.
They find Batman, and they're like,
we're in the living room with Metamorpho and his girlfriend.
Metamorpho and his flunkies, and they bring him in.
And then they drag Batman in, and Metamorpho's like, look at Metamorpho's face. He's like, brr. It like becomes totally flat. Like his chin recedes into his body.
He's got a weird face.
And his nose like melts.
This is back when they used
I think this is just because he's shocked to see Batman.
Yeah, why be shocked to see Batman too?
All of his features are like, no, and they like disappear back into his face.
So they're like, oh my God, it's Batman. And Batman's like, and so this is actually the first reference to the TV show because then Sapphire's like, ooh, I watch him on TV every week. He's simply Super Marv and Fab.
Yeah. I think he's simply Super Marv. Super.
He's so simply Super Marv and Fab.
Oh, is that supposed to be Super Marvelous?
Yeah. She's just abbreviating words. They didn't have time to say the full words. She can't say she's super marvelous and fabulous.
Well, she just could have said simply marvelous.
She could have. But this is the 60s.
Because I thought that this guy's name was Marv at first, and I was like, wait, I'm confused.
Why would she be like, so he's so simply Super Marv? Like,
I have no idea. That's why I was very confused about this. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So, and then nobody pays attention to her, and they're like, Batman, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know.
Nobody goes, you're on TV?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
Anyways.
So they're like, hey, could you just help me out? And they're like, yeah, get in this cool machine that we have. We'll put this stuff on it.
Yeah, so they analyze him. They analyze him. They figure out that he is having, this gas will change him into the Bat Hulk, and his antibodies can't keep it under control, and they don't have any way to help him.
Yeah.
And, an element, and Batman's like, hey, Metamorpho, and he's like pointing at him. He's like, you.
Help me.
He's like, you can only control me in my Bat Hulk form with your great chemical powers. He's like, oh, man, maybe it won't happen again. And then immediately happens.
And then he gets all beefy.
And he goes, hee ha ha.
And then he throws a guy.
He throws Java
into like a pool.
Yeah, and then so what happens is then him and Metamorpho start tussling.
Yeah,
and tussling.
Yeah,
I want to hear another good story.
It's about the word tussle.
Yes.
Oh Oh God! Do you tell somebody that they can't tussle? They're like, "That's mean."
No. So the one time, I don't know what the hell.
How dare you?
Again,
You oaf.
Again, another weird situation. Another weird slip of my mind. I was somebody when I was like ninth grade and we were in religion class. I was in because I would go to like religion studies like at the church.
Yep.
On Monday nights or whenever it was, and
Wasn't it called catechism?
I don't know. I was never told. It was we just called it religion. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm going to religion, right?
Okay.
And so me and all the other forced Catholics
Yep.
going to this thing, And for some reason, it was also a lot of like cool kids, like a lot of
Catholics.
Yeah, but like a lot of like kids that like you would think would be like, man, I'm too cool to do any of this stuff.
I don't know if you really have a choice.
I don't think they did.
That's the thing.
No?
Especially when it's like, hey, we live in a super Catholic part of Buffalo. Y'all need to get some religion.
Yeah. So anyway, so I started like, I don't know why, but some kid was fucking with me. This one of my classmates was fucking with me, and we started fighting each other in the classroom, like pushing each other and stuff.
Did you have to confess that one?
Who knows? I don't know.
Did you have to do rosary for that?
I probably just, when my confessions were usually like I said impure things, I had impure thoughts.
Did they give you a lot of rosaries?
I never got rosaries.
You never got rosaries?
No.
The fuck?
It was actually my penance was always just a lot of Hail Marys and Our Fathers.
And you didn't have to ever do rosaries?
No, I didn't.
That's bullshit.
I didn't. I barely touched it. I in my whole time as a Catholic, I've barely.
Do you even own a rosary?
I might have one somewhere.
Okay.
I don't know.
You're you had a way more Catholic upbringing than I did.
My parents were never
Do
into
you know how many rosaries I own? Like 4.
I probably have a bunch of rosaries running around, but it was never like my mom was like, or my dad was like, pull out that rosary and start touching those beads,
You're supposed to do them in a certain order. And
I know.
And if you get in a lot of trouble, like the priest will go, your penance is to like do 40 rosaries or something. You got to sit there do all the dumb beads.
I know. I've been told that.
I got rosaries.
But I never.
On the one time I went to confession, I got a rosary.
I can't.
One time.
I don't.
I've never been back.
I can't recall.
You know how many rosaries I have now?
Oh, Jesus. Man.
Years worth of.
Man. I have no. I am almost positive that I'd never received rosary. It was just always Hail Marys and Our Fathers, and then at the end I had a struggle to remember the act of contrition, which I did at some point, I guess, but I couldn't even. I'm going to hell. Anyways, so we started fighting in religion. I don't know why. I do not know why I decided to start pushing this kid and start being like, hey man, whatever, and so then we got walked down to the head of religion, who was having a class with some older students. Mm-hmm. I think my sister was in it.
Was this a priest?
No, it was like a person that they determined as like the head of the religious education, but not like the nuns, but like some lady.
Probably somebody who knew your mom.
Definitely knew. Yeah, they knew my dad. Everybody knew me. So I went there and I was like, they're like, tell them what happened. And I was like, me and kid got into a tussle. I said, I was like, of all things, I'd be like, and I don't know why I had to speak for myself. I mean, it was like, these two are fighting. Tell them to go home.
Did you get in trouble?
I don't fucking know.
Probably.
It probably was something where the trouble was my mom found out and she went, God damn it.
Yeah, your dad probably started laughing.
My dad probably didn't really care as much, but my mom was probably really, because really the only reason why I would get in trouble for anything related to this stuff is because my mom was embarrassed and she was a swinger, not like a swinger, but like just a player in the Catholic
in the church.
In the church, not without actually being like a member of the clergy.
Well, of course not. It's just a woman.
Right. So, anyways, why would you bring this up?
You were talking about tussles.
Oh, I said that's right.
Yeah,
I said the word.
They start tussling.
That's right. We'll go over here.
Metamorpho.
So you start shooting.
It's like a trigger word for you.
That was. Mm-hmm. Wow, what a breakthrough. Mm-hmm. 2 breakthroughs today.
I know, look at that.
Bring it up.
That time you were really mean to a dude who can't see color and the word tussle.
That's some deep therapy right here.
That's what this podcast is.
So Metamorpho and Bat Hulk start throwing,
Yeah, because Metamorpho like puts him in some sort of like net thing. He
changes his hands into magnesium.
Yeah, like threads, and kind of like tries to make a net.
Tries to put him into
a net of some sort.
Net of some sort, and then Batman.
We also, just real quick, we
you
also
wanna talk
have
about
two splash page ad here for superheroes on Saturdays on CBS.
Oh yeah, CBS cartoons.
So we've got Space Ghost, and we've got Superman, and I think the Lone Ranger.
You've got something called the Impossibles.
Who's this?
That is the Dino Boy.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
And then you have Frankenstein Jr.
Oh man,
Frankenstein Jr.
Yeah,
nice. So anyway, so Batman, Bat Hulk, since he's got like the chemical hands, he
burns the magnesium.
He burns the magnesium, and so what he does next.
I don't understand how he does this.
What he does is he changes his hands into a body mold of Metamorpho.
Sure.
And he
puts the magnesium in there.
He puts the magnesium into this mold and kind of like creates like a Play-Doh magnesium version dummy
of Metamorpho.
Which is just a pure white. It's a great version of Metamorpho, but it's just a pure white Metamorpho.
It's like a rubber doll.
I do like that they spelled mold like Bob Mold.
Yeah.
The singer of Sugar and Husker Du. Anyways. Yeah.
So they put it together, and and at first I couldn't tell if this, I don't think it has any sort of ability to actually move.
Well, I don't know what. This is the thing. You're right.
This is what I can't tell, because it looks like here when Batman tosses it at him, it just looks like a rubber dummy.
It's just a rubber dummy with his hands by its sides, and then he throws it at him, and somehow.
And it kind of like, basically what this looks like. So there's this show here in Los Angeles, and it's called Get High, Watch Wrestling.
Oh, you're talking about the doll?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you go to this show, people get high and watch wrestling.
And so one of the videos
things that they showed was from Japan, where this dude, who deserved a goddamn Oscar for doing this, he wrestled a blow-up doll.
Yes.
For a good 10 minutes. And he made it look like he was losing.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this looks like here.
Actually, you know what? Great analogy.
100%. He's just like, it looks like Metamorpho is just like fighting with this doll, but like losing terribly.
Somehow it somehow puts him in like the Cobra Clutch. I'm not going to lie. This actually looks like he puts him in the Cobra Clutch.
Yeah. This is exactly what that
fucking
looks like.
Sergeant Slaughter. And then he starts like, he's still fighting with this thing.
Yeah, it's still wrapped around him. And so Batman like breaks through a gate, and then Metamorpho has to like
he turns into nitric acid and he melts it.
He like melts it off.
And then we get cut to apparently Batman, Joker, Riddler, and Penguin having a tea party.
Well, they hang out every once in a while.
Or they're drinking out of these wacky looking glasses.
They're very 60s.
And they're just having cups. Like, oh, we're so awesome. We managed to make Batman.
We fucked up Batman.
So what they do is Bat Hulk jumps through where they are.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and he just finger guns and shoots gas at them.
Yeah, he does. He like finger guns because they're like, oh my God, Bat Hulk. And he's like, I'm here because I want you guys to be my henchmen. And he finger guns them.
Pull my finger.
And it shoots gas at them. And they're like, ugh.
What is this gas actually doing? Is it just making them compliant?
Yeah, it kind of like hypnotizing gas. Because I'm sure that's an element, right?
It's a hypnoto. The element hypnotium. 100%.
And so then Batman becomes normal Batman again. And they're like, haha, normal Batman. We're not going to do anything that you say, and now we're going to get you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, where am I? I don't know what's happening. And then you turn the page, and they're like, we're going to get you.
And then he turns back to Batman.
And then he's like, turns into Bat Hulk, and he's like, nope, normal Batman's gone. Just me, Bat Hulk. You bitches are going to do what I said.
But now like he doesn't, but they're already not compliant.
Yeah.
And then Bat Hulk is like, no, now you're going to make me.
And they're like, okay.
So he's like, you're going to commit a bunch of crimes for me, and now you're going to help me commit.
You're my henchman.
You're basically going to do a bunch of dirty work for me.
Yeah.
Because now I'm evil Bat Hulk.
I'm evil.
He's also. Why does the guy become evil?
I don't know.
Like, why couldn't he just become like giant and have melty hands?
Right, and just like kind of just. Wreak havoc across the city, but now he's just evil, and now he's plotting crimes.
He's like a friggin' mastermind, and somehow Superman or not Batman or Joker and all those guys.
Yeah, they just
they're
do
just
what
like
he says.
just like, all right, I guess we're doing it. And then so Joker's
first Metamorpho like sees that apparently Batman has a floating or a flying bat cave And he's like, oh, there it is. I bet he's doing...
It's just a copter.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go... He's probably doing evil. I better go stop him.
Yeah, I do like that they're... So Metamorpho... Now, I understand...
Why he's sitting on top of a taxi?
Because if Metamorpho could turn into gas...
Yeah, why
he could just be like, well, I'm just gas. Because he puts his head on everything.
Yeah,
and
he
what
could
he
just float.
turns into. He could just float as oxygen or hydrogen or fucking sulfur.
He could just catch a ride in the wind.
Yeah, just catch a ride in the wind, just fly around wherever he needs to go. But for some reason, he is sitting on top of a car being driven by his crew.
Yeah.
Like he's just sitting on top of it and somehow not falling off.
Why
which, I mean,
he's not inside of it?
Why is it not inside? Why is he sitting on top of it? I mean, granted, he's getting a good view of the action.
Sure.
And he probably could adhere to the metal of a car by turning into whatever element the car is made of. Something.
He could turn into
steel
a car, couldn't he?
or iron.
Yeah.
He could turn into a car.
Yeah.
You could turn into really anything. He could turn into a fucking spring and just bounce.
Yeah.
Which he does later.
He does.
So, anyways, he's sitting on top of a car like a dummy, and then Batman.
So he sees this copter, and they're like, "Oh, there's Batman," and Batman is like cutting a hole into the.
Batman's using all of like. Yeah, Batman's using all of his gadgets to commit crimes.
But also his like chemical hands to like cut a hole in the roof.
Yeah, and then
he ties a bunch of money bags to like a cable, and he puts them up, and like the Joker is complaining because the Joker's like, I want to be the top dog.
Joker's
and
like,
but look at all the money we're making.
Yeah, he's like, yo, look at these bags actually labeled money.
Yeah, they're actually bags labeled money, and so then the cops show up.
Who's to say that they were going to get a cut of this? Because is it also that Bat Hulk is in addition to being
he's a generous boss.
In addition to being a strong-handed, a very aggressive and demanding boss, he's also very generous. That's
apparently.
I don't know. It sounds like a good deal.
Generous man.
I mean, but think about it. It's a good deal. You're working with somebody who has science.
Yeah.
Because he's not dumb.
He's got all. Yeah. He's got all the gadgets and
he's just evil. And he just wants to use the
But at the
gadgets.
very beginning, he's dumb, and now he's not dumb. So maybe he like adjusted. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe he went to our one of our therapy things.
Yeah. Yeah, he went to the crying therapy, and he's figured out how to not be dumb.
Nice.
Or he went to school. It's just like a light up pencil, like a Scantron. School.
It just it's a light up pencil. Then it's like a graduation cap. Yeah.
I like it.
That needs to be on top of schools.
It should be on top of schools.
You don't name
because then you know.
Because there's the thing, you don't name schools after presidents or people anymore.
No, not anymore. Now you have to name them after corporations.
Do they still name schools after are there any new school? Or is anybody making a new school?
I have no idea.
Like all of a sudden, are you just like, I guess we're gonna just make this new school?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I don't know if you name them after presidents anymore.
Well, I mean, definitely definitely the one I went to, it was JFK,
right? Well, you guys had a lot of them too. You had didn't you have McKinley?
Well, no, we had there was McKinley. There was McKinley was in Buffalo, but I went to Theodore Roosevelt for grade school. I went to basically middle school at Woodrow Wilson.
Okay.
And then I went to John F. Kennedy
for high school. And there was also down the street from me, there's Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland You guys
school.
are all named after presidents.
Yeah, I know. We were all about the presidents.
Not us. Not one of us had a name after. It was all about things like Pine Lane.
Well, I mean, there's a lot.
No one did.
Obviously,
it was
we had
all
those
about
too.
No, but I mean, we literally in my district did not have anybody named after president. It was all about either something in nature or the neighborhood you lived in.
JFK was actually named by the students in the 60s. Because they were like, yo, kids, you want to name the new school?
Yeah.
And they're like, JFK all the way. What else do I have to say? And then it was like, JFK blown away. Because he was supposed to come to the school.
And he died.
And then he fucking got his head blown off.
Yeah. See, maybe it's because our schools weren't built. Because, I mean, my school wasn't built until the 80s.
No, yeah, it's different.
So
they weren't naming it Jimmy Carter High or whatever.
The very late 70s. I think actually even the 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they weren't naming shit.
Yeah.
There's no Nixon High.
I don't know if there is. Is there a Nixon High?
God, I hope not. So Batman is fighting and the police show up, Metamorpho shows up, and they start fighting.
So Batman throws. There's actually I like Batman here. He's like, well, I'm here to stop you, Bat Hulk, and he's like, fine. Here's a hot Batarang.
Yeah. And
Hot elemental Batarang, wise guy.
Yeah, and Metamorpho was like, oop.
Oh, better move out of the way there.
Yeah, and so then he starts
Better
squeezing
turn it to
him.
potassium.
Yeah, and then he starts squeezing him around the middle so that we get basically the thing that's on the cover.
Yeah.
And as that's happening, he kind of like breaks.
Well, what's happening is that Batman apparently is dissolving him with his chemical hands,
Sure.
and he's going ha.
Yeah, and he's becoming kind of just basically like a river.
Yeah, he's become like a pud, and he just kind of like oozes down the building.
Yeah, and luckily his buddies are there. They're like, well, here's our ape man. He's gonna zap me with electricity.
Yeah,
so
they're
I
like,
go
hey.
back together.
Yeah, because they're like this ape man. They're like, he's like Java, you nit. Like, you know, Simon Stagg for some reason is just like,
just like ripping wires off buildings.
yeah, Simon Stagg's like, Java, you nitwit Neanderthal, rip that wire loose. And he's like, Master obeys, Java commands, Java obeys.
Yeah, and so he zaps him and he comes back together. And then apparently Commissioner Gordon has retrofitted the bat signal, so it's just a big Hulk signal now.
He
Just
retrofitted
it's
the
a
bat
fat
signal,
Batman.
but only for the purpose of telling people where Bat Hulk is, not to call Bat Hulk into action, but to be like, hey, Bat Hulk is
instead of
there.
The police copters, which were here, that are no longer here, instead of to send the police after Bat Hulk, it's just to like kind of let people know where he is. It's like, stay away from this area of the city. Bat Hulk is here.
And he just basically,
it's like a warning crocodile sign by a lake.
Somehow he took the bat symbol and just like rearranged it like a weird puzzle to make it look like a fat Batman.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
he's doing shadow animal. He's just like got a bunch of acrobats, like, or like a really what are those people? They're super flexible.
Oh,
contortionists.
Yeah.
And they're just like sitting on top of the spotlight, like in a bat sign.
Or what actually might be more practical is that the Gotham Police Department has a number of
various bat
forms to put on. So if Batman turns into like a donkey, or if Batman turns into a woman, it's
so
like
this is
sexy
like it's
lady
like an
Batman.
overhead.
It's
like you remember overheads when you had like the
Or if Batman turns into like a cake.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
it's a cake Batman with like a symbol in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it cuts out the...
It cuts the symbol, yeah.
Yeah.
So just in case you have cake Batman.
They have a lot of... That's where all the money to the Gotham goes.
Yeah, that's what they spend a whole bunch of money being like, he might turn into a cake. He might turn into a sexy lady. He might turn into a car.
And since it's the 60s, I have a feeling Andy Warhol did these.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a soup can Batman.
Soup
They were like,
soup can Batman.
We paid $40,000 in 1966 money for this Andy Warhol soup can. Basically bankrupt us for
Why did we bankrupt ourselves with Andy Warhol? Well, Batman is a TV star.
Like
he does command that sort of attention, sort of treatment.
Yeah.
So, I like that we got to the bottom of this. I feel pretty good.
Yeah. So then they go to the clock, and Batman and Metamorpho were fighting on it.
I do actually like here. I just realized because I was looking at the clock here, and I was like, "Why does the clock look like a blob? Like, why is
because
it like
that's why because Hulk Batman's on it.
Because Hulk Batman is on there.
Yeah, he's just
Bat Hulk.
Why he's hanging on the clock?
Well, he just wanted to be. He just wanted to be a dummy, and he starts.
Just like, he's just like,
oh, you forgot the part where he says, "I'm going to." Is this where he says when he's squeezing Metamorpho, and he goes, "Ha! I'll squeeze the elemental juice out of you, fellow."
Gross,
fellow.
He's basically a juicero.
He's a human. He's a monster juicero.
He's a monster juicero.
To be honest, I'll be honest. I know that if a juicero was just a giant Batman statue that squeezed my juice.
If it was a giant Hulk Batman, I'd buy it.
And if it was squeezing juice
with his giant Hulk hands,
or if he was squeezing like a packet of juice, or just something, squeezing whatever it is to make your juice.
Yeah.
100%. I would.
Yeah, you could make a Hulk Batman Keurig, and I would buy it.
Actually, yes. Why is there not custom Keurig?
I'd be
Keurig,
I'll
get on this. If you work at Keurig, please get on this and make some funky ass Keurigs for us fucking nerds. And shapes.
I'd buy it.
Because 100% we will.
Yeah.
If you could lift up Batman's head, and put it down,
put like a Pez dispenser that you put a Keurig pot on his neck, and then I don't know, it comes out his nose.
Some nerd fucking. Yeah, because you imagine you walked in. If I walked in,
we had so many good ideas. We had the idea of doing zombie Pac-Man the other day, and now we're talking about Batman juiceros and Keurigs.
Yeah, watch. I'm gonna go hang out with Chris Gore sometime. He's gonna have a Batman Keurig. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be very jealous of him.
Yeah.
So Batman's on this fucking okay, this is so it's like the cover of no, it's not the cover, but it's the
But it's the splash page.
it's the flash page of the first issue of this comic where he's hanging off the clock,
Yeah.
like, and then I know you're saying like it's King Kong, but he
Yeah.
looks like Doc Brown
Sure.
from Back to the Future
can see
hanging
it.
off the clock,
I can see it.
and he's shooting his fiery balls.
And he's just huge.
you know, at Metamorpho, and he turns back, you know, he barely turns back into whatever fire,
Yeah.
or turns back to himself so he doesn't get burned. And then he gets on. So then for some reason,
Somehow Batman gets on top of the clock, and then Metamorpho like turns into his bottom half turns into a spring.
yeah, he turns into
he
a
goes-
copper spring.
and he goes,
why
"Boing."
he doesn't do this just to drive around and do shit?
Yeah, good question. So
Horseshit.
then he like springs off the clock.
They have a weird exchange where he's like, so you're still trying, little boy? And he's like, gee, nobody's called me that since I was at Rompers.
I know, I'm like, you guys are weird.
Like,
This
oh.
is getting weird, guys. Like,
Stop talking about
what the
Rompers.
fuck's wrong with you two?
This is 2017.
Yeah, he's man romper.
Man Rompers.
Yeah, and so Batman like grabs.
Another thing though, look, if you made a Metamorpho man romper,
Oh, you'd wear it.
I would 100%
I-
wear a Metamorpho man romper.
I support you in wanting to wear a Metamorpho man romper.
I'm actually kind of hoping that somebody makes that.
Yeah.
Because
It
here's
could
the
just
thing.
be like a feety pajama.
Well, here's the
too.
thing. Somebody's making. They're making like Marvel. I mean, they even kind of have stuff like this where it's like Batman or
Yeah.
fucking Deadpool and shit. It's like Metamorpho is prime for romper.
Yes. You could just make this like feety pajamas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be perfect cosplay. I could just wear that. And
yeah.
Just paint my head white.
Yeah. It'd
Nice.
be great.
So for some reason,
So Batman like grabs
he grabs an antenna.
An antenna. And he's like, all right, I'm going to like pull it up and smash you with it, I think is the point.
Yeah.
And he's like, that crazy mixed up TV antenna, like, you know, stop doing that. He says, stop abusing that crazy mixed up TV antenna.
Yeah.
But it also serves as a lightning rod, and aren't we lucky it starts like raining? And
Thankfully.
so Batman gets electrocuted. He gets struck by lightning and electrocuted.
Again, pretty much like Back to the Future.
Yeah, he does.
This is pretty much the plot of Back to the Future.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Bob Haney knew.
Bob Haney was in touch with some shit.
He was. And so Batman gets electrocuted. And then we're down on the ground, and Joker and Riddler and Penguin are like all standing up against a wall.
Well, what happened was, so I
Are
think
they captured or are they just standing there?
That's the other thing too.
Because the Joker has his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, he's playing like a pocket pool.
Yeah, I mean, so like, they haven't been arrested.
Commissioner Gordon's like, well, we got these guys, and they're just standing here.
Yeah.
They're just standing here like a bunch of schmucks.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, I guess you guys were arrested.
And then so Metamorpho.
I had to really look to see if they were like bound in any way.
I was
and
like,
they're not.
no, they're just leaning against a wall.
They're like, yeah, I
They're
guess
like,
we're.
I'm holding up this wall.
Well, I guess they probably won't. Oh, you want to go to jail? All right.
Yeah, I mean, they could like run. Commissioner
They
Gordon
could totally run.
There's no other cops. It's just Commissioner Gordon and Metamorpho's friends.
Yeah. And just at that time, so just as that happens, Metamorpho shows up with Batman over his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Basically, it's just a drawing of Batman's ass.
I know you get badass. And he's like, hey.
Yeah, he's like, hey, he got struck by lightning. But he's normal now. He won't change back into Batman.
Well, no, what happens is, so he's like,
Oh, they're like, oh, we don't know if he's alive.
because Metamorpho's like, yeah, but, you know, it took like 1,000,000-volt whammy to do it. And I'm afraid maybe this Bat guy bought it in the bargain.
Yeah. And so, of course, Joker and Riddler and Penguin are like, he's dead. And they just start laughing.
They start laughing, and then as that's happening, Batman comes to.
He's like, I'm awake.
And he's like, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, gotta get up and tackle them. And he's like, well, you're... And
Calm down, Bruce.
And so Metamorpho just goes, well, since he's alive, he goes, he's awake, alive, long as you three rats exist, he can't die. So as long as Batman, Riddler...
As long as Batman has somebody to fight, he won't die.
Yes.
Basically, is what he's saying.
This is canon.
Yeah.
They have to live. And actually, I would love it if they played this, if they referenced, like, if Batman dies,
Yeah.
you know, as he has in the past.
Yes. He
And-
comes back.
He comes back, but I would love it if, like, that's how they reasoned that he is still alive, because
His will is so strong. He's like, there's still villains.
even if he gets zapped to dust by Omega beams
Yeah.
and anything or whatever it is
Yeah.
that happens to him,
Yeah.
He will always be able to live because these three dummies are still alive.
Yeah, as long as those guys are still alive.
And this is canon. And Jeff, I mean, actually, he should follow through with this.
Yeah.
Because this is a good way to get out of it all the time.
I would just really love if Batman is so stubborn that he refuses to die until these three do.
Yeah.
And since they won't die, he can't die.
No.
And then it becomes like a Highlander situation.
Nice. I like it. But at some point, they're going to die. Well, Joker never dies.
What if none of them can die as long as one of the other one's alive? So that's when it's a Highlander thing,
man,
and they all have to kill each other at once. That'd be great.
That's how DC Comics ends. Batman, Riddler, Penguin, and
Just
Joker.
in a churchyard with swords.
Just like, all right, we're all doing this. Ready? 1, 2. Ready?
What are they like? Each like standing in like a circle with like a sword up to the other one, and they're like, at the count of 3, we all stab.
But what happens is Batman gives like whoever's about to stab him like a foam sword.
Yeah, but then if Batman lives, all of them live.
But they have to do they have to live with their stab wounds?
I think they all have to die at the same time.
Yeah.
So then they'd all have to be like, we all have to stab at the same time, and if one of them cheats, all of them live.
Because Joker's like, you didn't stab yourself. It's like, but now I'm still alive. It's like, you know, you can't.
You know, how many times have we done this?
How many times we do this every year?
You guys, we try to figure this out, and someone cheats. Always one of you.
I like this. I like this idea, and
Yeah,
I think we need.
Vandal Savage is just in the background, like, hey, I'm here too, and they're like, fuck you, Savage.
You have to die too.
Yeah, they're like, you're not in this. This is us.
I'm gonna take a picture of this and like make sure everybody knows about it because we figured out the reason why Batman can live forever.
Oh yeah, this is why.
I am immortal. So basically, I guess at this point, then the Penguin, Riddler, and Joker just willingly go into the police
they
van.
Just go to jail. Sure.
And then Batman's like, "Oh, thanks, Metamorpho," and he's like, and Metamorpho's like, no, Batman, you really owe it to a really sharp lightning rod and a lot of luck. Be seeing you on TV, pal.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the end.
Yeah.
This is back in the era where none of these guys were killing people on the regular. Their heists were just fucking with Batman and stealing things, stealing money, stealing diamonds.
Yep.
They weren't killing hundreds of people every time they were out.
Yeah.
Like, they were just crooks.
They were just
They weren't a fucking maniac. Like, Joker's, he kills people all the time now.
Yeah,
That's
now he's all
does.
about, like, setting off atomic bombs and shit.
Yeah, and just trying to kill and stab, like, hundreds. This is back when he was just like, my job is to fuck with Batman and maybe steal some money.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Maybe
That's
get a
all I
little
do.
rich.
Yeah.
That's it.
So that's it. That's Brave and the Bold.
So that's The Brave and the Bold, number 68 from November 1966. That's it for this week's show. You can.
Oh, would you read the next issue?
Oh yes, 100%.
Oh yeah, me too.
I might even.
love these.
Who knows? I mean, I will read all of these.
Yeah, no, they're great.
And
They're
I
a
know
lot of fun.
I know a lot of them are out. Actually, there's the omnibus, the Brave and the Bold
Yeah,
omnibus
that's
that is
right.
out.
Which I'm sure this one might be in it.
This is reprinted in a lot of stuff. This particular issue is actually printed in they have like a showcase, not a showcase, but I think it's a showcase.
Maybe.
Showcase, or not, whatever it's called. I forgot what they call them.
The Essentials?
Yeah, but it's like the black and white ones
Yeah.
where they have a Metamorpho one, which was reprinted in, and it's Brave and the Bold one that's reprinted. So, so this is great. So, I definitely would read it, and I assume you would as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. You can find myself on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN. I'm going to post that picture I took of Adam West.
Yeah.
And
and Adrian Curry.
It's quite the photo.
Yeah.
And and you can also check out my other podcast, I Could Talk Kayfabe with Joe Todaro. Just search I Could Talk Kayfabe in iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
I'm sorry, Apple Podcasts, and you can check it out there where we talk about wrestling magazines.
Yeah. And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com. You can find us on Facebook at Worst Collection Ever, and you can email the show at worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us some correspondence. We love hearing from you folks, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. So.
Yeah.
Anything that you hear about,
If you know more about Beefy Bat Hulk.
if you made more,
If he shows up in more than just this issue.
he probably doesn't.
Yeah.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
Beef Hulk.
Beef Hulk, Bat Beef,
Bat Beef.
or maybe also if you are somebody that forced a colorblind person to look at colors. you could share that with me. Your husband is an ass.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I'm glad that you admit
That was
it.
a dick thing to do.
I'm glad you acknowledge it. I'm glad you're not like, no, baby, it's okay. No, he's.
No, I mean, as long as you apologize to that gentleman. And you
I
don't do it
probably
again.
did. I think I'm still friends with.
Now that you know that it's horribly cruel.
In the moment, though, I was just like, because I think I really wanted to know. I was just like, well, this is my chance to know. Like, instead of and I did it in front of everybody else. Shane Moss was there too.
Good job, babe.
So
proud.
Touring comedian Shane Moss, because it was a comedy workshop featuring Shane Moss as the guest of honor.
And he still talks to you.
I know. He still talks to me. He should have been like, "You're garbage. Why don't you leave?" Yeah, but and if you're on, if you're on Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review if you think we deserve it. Leave us a note. That's how we get moving up in the rankings too. Gets the visibility going. So we would really appreciate that. Thanks for listening, folks, and we'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.